Can somebody help me? I think I'm living in two different realities, or maybe two different dimensions, or maybe the left side heard this and the right side. Well, check this out.
Democrats voted against securing our border. They voted against our massive tax cuts that you have. They voted against the Trump accounts for your children. They want to raise your taxes by a lot, not lower them. We lowered your taxes. We gave you the greatest tax cut in the history of our country twice now. And they want to raise your taxes substantially. You know, I've been watching politics. I've been involved in politics.
So that was President Trump in Georgia. Matter of fact, I did cover that live today, and of course he was tooting his own horn. Do I have a horn? Let me see if I can toot my horn. Kind of irritating, right? That was done on purpose. That too. You see, he was in Georgia, whipping it up. Folks just clapping. Yeehaw! But by the same token, he is trying to levy a 50% tax against Canada. And I'm thinking, you know, Pearson, this has got to be a strategy of aim high, meet me somewhere in the middle. Then I'm thinking, you know what? Did he talk to Congress? I don't think he did. I think he just up and rolled the dice and came out with a number. And then everybody reports it. Then the Prime Minister Carney, who he was with less than 3 weeks ago, weren't they at a summit? They didn't talk about it then? 50%. Do you guys have any idea what that would do to our economy? You guys know it is a tax, right? I know a lot of the alphabet TV stations, they don't discuss that. Maybe they're controlled, but I'm going to tell you the truth. But before I do that, I want you to give a listen about what happened today as he was out there in Georgia. Georgia.
50% tariff on a range of Canadian goods covers everything from hockey equipment to alcohol. Just the latest escalation against one of America's closest allies and trade partners. Canada is already saying it plans to retaliate. Chris Swanger is joining us live now. He is the president and CEO of Distilled Spirits Council of the United States. And Chris, what are the real world effects of these tariffs that we've been living with so far?
Hi, Dale. Thanks for having me. Listen, it's been a year and a half. It's been a year and a half when the Canadian province leaders decided to not put American distilled spirits back on the shelves. So it's had a significant impact. We've seen a 73% decline in our exports to Canada. We do have a couple other provinces, Saskatchewan and Alberta, who still receive American whiskey products and other distilled spirits products, but we certainly appreciate and recognize that the administration understands the economic harm this has had on American businesses and so forth. Look, we're an industry where we're intertwined. I was just in Ottawa last week, and many of the great companies that I represent own Canadian distilled spirits products. So we don't want this 50% tariff to go in force on August 19th, and we're just very, very hopeful that both governments will get at the table. The Canadian provinces put American distilled spirits back on the shelves, without a doubt, and we'll actively hope that this 50% tariff won't be applied on Canadian distilled spirits products. Because at the end of the day, this is going to have an impact on bartenders, American consumers, and industries on both sides of the border.
Chris, this is a rare moment of unity with Andy Beshear, the Democratic governor of Kentucky, and
It's unbelievable, huh? It's unquestionably unbelievable. I just want to hurry up and play this last one because I'm itching. Back scratcher. I'm itching to get this out of my system. Check it out.
Consequential, but it's not covering the swath of everything that we're importing from Canada.
So this high tariff rate on a narrow base of products, is there reason to believe that these tariffs never take effect, that this is all just designed to negotiate a deal?
You know, the effective tariff rate in the U.S. has changed some 60 plus times in the second Trump administration, and that's just counting tariffs that actually went into effect, not the fact that we've seen a lot of announcements about future activities with respect to our trading partners that were ultimately rolled back or changed in the process of negotiating. And so obviously this is a very active and live conversation. Obviously the administration was very clear about giving themselves a delay of 30 days with respect to the implementation of these tariffs in order to continue talks with Canada. But I think in some sense one shouldn't take comfort in the fact that you might not actually see tariffs at this level on these swath of products implemented, because the volatility of the trading environment, the fact that if you are someone who is importing some of these goods from Canada, you have no idea essentially what the trading environment is under which you're going to be bringing goods into this country. And just
She said it better than me. Sometimes we have to do that 1-800 Ask an Expert. When I heard about it, I had to zone out of the nice Eddie Murphy speech that Trump gave in Georgia and come back to reality. So I had to slap myself on both sides of the cheek. You see, because simultaneously I see him war mongering and making money for the multi-million-dollar those who make arms for the war. On the other hand, I see a war on the economy, which on face appears to be going after a foreign country, yet the result is a tax on us. If by now the average American cannot see that not only is this dude is putting in the final blow, I don't know what else to tell you. He says 30 days. Now you can look at it as a negotiation tactic if you want to. I look at it as the final blow. He knows he's leaving soon. He had one intent when he ran for office, and that is to run for king. But they're going to take his crown. I told you guys that a few weeks ago. And so on his way out, now that he got his plane and he's got all the accolades, his face on a bill and Trump towers and golf course, you name it. Trump, 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 Trump. All the glory for his story. Now he's going to leave us with economic hell. We got to do nothing Congress, people. This ain't all Trump, but he the one made the announcement. Before he got the bump in his gums, somebody in Congress should have got a whiff of that thing and said, no, we just celebrated our 250th anniversary. The way you're going, we're not going to make it to 251. This ain't gonna cut the mustard. I'm not gonna bore you with a decode and an analysis. You know what the analysis is. You know the cost of living ain't the same. He didn't keep his promises. And the way he going, he's gonna kill the world economy. 50%, can you wrap your mind even if it's 25%? And I know these trade deals that were made generations ago were wrong, but I've been telling y'all, unless you understand the spirit world, you'll never get it. These are demons. The Bible says explicitly, Jesus told us, you don't fight against flesh and blood. These are principalities and powers of the air. They think long term. They set this thing up with these foreign countries to have them grow. Then they had, in my humble opinion, Slick Willie Clinton and George Herbert Bush, whatever his name was. They set up the NAFTA thing. They took your jobs. They took your factories. They sent them over the seas and had them bling. The goal was to extract from us gradually and then grow the economic wheelhouse so that it can begin to soar. And I do mean soar. China, Canada, Mexico, you name it. A lot of these countries, they ate off of our troughs because those spirits, those demons, are in concert with a lot of these secret societies. These fallen angels they have mated with men and women. Listen to me. Because this is not a human decision. These are spirits. They're setting up a global conquest. But again, they built up America. Then when they built up America to a certain point, then they had to expand that thing globally and then grow these other countries simultaneously with different goods and services. Do you understand? And then once everybody got to a certain level, now they want to change the complexion of how the rate is. So if they've been getting over like a fat cat, now we want to change it. So Trump trots out like a hero because he lied to you and said he's going to make America great. So you think he on this pony. I'm going to go ahead and come against them. These trade deals are bad. They've been bad for 30, 40, 50 years. But he's not giving you a perspective like I'm giving you. If you don't believe in these spirits, you're not going to understand how they make a conquest. And you think these other nations don't know, these prime ministers and these leaders, they're in on the game. They're globalists. I got to X something out. They worship demons. And so do people on this side of the shore. So now, Trump's is a hero? No, he's not. Hundreds of thousands of businesses have been affected globally by his decision. On that side of the shore and this one. I think God's going to judge this country, and we're going to cry over the judgment. But I can see God not just wiping out a few people in power. I can see God just wiping the slate clean. I can see him doing it. I don't know when he's going to do it, but that's the feeling I got. You see, many times history repeats. God sent Moses and Aaron with the staff, and he didn't ask. He says, the great I am sent me. He said, let my people go. And what happened with Pharaoh? He waxed worse and worse. And then at the end, you know the story. God's children ran for their very lives. And when they got to the sea of no return, Moses used that staff and he parted those waters and they ran through. And that devil He sent his troops, the gladiators, the warriors, after God's people. And they drowned in that sea, did they not? You think God would do it again? And this time it's America? I do. I hear it and feel it in my spirit. If Jesus don't come soon, I got my staff. I don't know about you, but I didn't pick mine up a long time ago. I'm sick of it. Put in the chat if you feel like I feel. I know the Bible said vengeance is mine, but a crying heart makes a warrior out of God. Do you understand? This ain't nothing but the devil. And he not listening to us. He out there holding rallies around the world, around the United States. He think a King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Trump the devil, y'all. Y'all better wake up. 50% tariff. This is the final blow. He's killing the international economy. And they planned this generations ago. They built them up on purpose. One-sided tariff negotiation. And then 50, 60, 70 years later, change it. And then they collapse economically, and we collapse economically. They collapse because down the chain, everybody who touch it before it goes to our shores, they got to pay an extra fee. Who you think gonna pay that extra fee, that 25 or 50% by the time they get here? We do. So it's a double whammy. You throw one bowling ball and you bowling in 2 lanes at one time. That's what Trump is doing. Open your eyes. I pray you do. I love you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. We need this kind of talk. It's time to get the Moses in you and let the Lord have his way. Many times we cried to God, telling him how come he ain't made no change. He gave us power and dominion. We got to call it home. I ain't trying to go down with one punch. God bless you.